Hey everybody, welcome to Callous Fight Night. You guys might be sick of seeing Eden's Embrace, but he just hasn't been losing. He's been in the last three of these. This is the fourth one in a row. He beat Teclis for a chance to fight off the champion Helpona, who he then defeated. He then defended his title last week against Posse G, and here he is for another defense against Zomog. He's on the bottom on the alt Sparkling Dream against Zomog on the top with Zapdos. Zomog just recently, today actually, got second place in the ADV Championship, losing out in 3 games to Alexander. He has definitely shot up in the past 12 months to being someone who's really good at this tier. So definitely this is a battle of two SPL level players, and indeed these players were both drafted and very well may be playing ADV in this SPL. So we've got a Blissey switch for the turn 1 T-Wave, Tyranitar coming in, Blissey coming out, and Metagross finds itself in against the Tar. We've got Metagross here, probably the more dangerous Mon in this matchup. I mean, it depends on the set, but every Metagross is going to have Meteor Mash, whereas T-Tar may or may not have Fire Blast or Earthquake or something along those lines. See what they both want to do here. Probably Zomog switches, I would assume, but he's got to be careful about Meta just going straight Boom here, or a surprise move like Toxic, something like that a Bulky Water wouldn't want to get hit with. Swampert comes in anyway, and it is just the obvious Meteor Mash. That's got to be a defensive pert as opposed to the very popular these days offensive pert that I know Zomog likes as well, but an offensive pert would have taken more than 20% there. He's got lefties, so we also know that it's not going to be an Endeavor pert or anything like that. And there's no way that that's a Choice Band Metagross either, or it would have done more damage. So we gain a bit of information about the set of both Pokemon based on that turn. It's now Sunny thinking about what to do. Unlikely that he stays in here unless he has HP Grass. Strange that he goes Meteor Mash again. That does not seem worthwhile. Does only 19%, gets nailed by an Earthquake here. Not a good trade for Sunny, but perhaps he's trying to bait the Swampert to stay in because he actually does have something like HP Grass. Now we can almost certainly rule that out because he's a Protect meta, and he's now going to go to Coon. Zomog protects on this turn, thinking there's going to be an explosion, which there's not, and a previously unrevealed Coon did come in for Eden. Looks like a balanced-ish, mid-range kind of team for Eden. Zomog's looks a little bit more on the TSS offensive side. I would not be surprised if this were more of an offensive Rachi. It could be an Asterachi or something along those lines, but I would suspect it's something like a Combine substitute set, something along those lines. Based on the teams that I've been seeing Zomog run recently, he seems to prefer those kind of offenses. He goes Thunder there, gets blanked by Claydol, that was also previously unrevealed. Could very well be Last Poke Magneton for Eden. That would make a lot of sense based on what's been shown. Salamence, Metagross, Coon, those are all things that want Skarmory out of the way. And then, of course, it would also be the oh-so-popular Magdoll combo. So that would be my guess for the Last Poke for Eden. For Zomog, not so clear-cut. These TSS teams can have a couple different variants. There could be a Skarm somewhere, which he probably is aware of the Magneton, is being very careful about it. There could also be a Gengar, an Aerodactyl. There could be a Coon or some kind of offensive special threat in the back. Yeah, those are things that would make sense on the team for Zomog. He's going to go Earthquake here. It's going to do quite a bit to Bliss, actually, 42%. Maybe that's a modest Blissey as opposed to Bold to take that amount of damage. Nevertheless, she does go for a Soft Boiled on the switch. T-Tar comes in. We haven't seen anything from it. We don't even know if he has lefties. Could be a Choice Bander. Could be a Special Tar here. Hard to say given what's been shown so far. There hasn't really been a super telling turn that would reveal the set. It shows now that it's Focus Punch. Blissey stays in, which is a pretty bold move for Sunny. Breaks it up with Seismic Toss, but it's not Choice Band locked on Focus Punch. It is a Choice Bander, and Sunny's going to Seismic Toss again. He's not afraid of the T-Tower, despite the damage that it could deal with a Rock Slide or something along those lines. And there is the Rock Slide, so Sunny outpredicts him 3 turns in a row. He stops 2 Focus Punches with a Seismic Toss, and then he figures out the turn where the Focus Punch will not come down, and he goes to Coon. So really nice outplay there for Sunny, and he gets a critical hit as the Rachi comes in. So some very nice plays consecutively for Eden's Embrace. See if Zomog can rally back. We know the Jirachi has at least Thunder, which the Coon has to be nervous about. It's also a possible Wish Charm, but I don't know this is going to be a Wish Rachi. This could be Calm Mind 2-attack Sub Rachi, but scratch that. It does have Wish, so it might be the old standard of Calm Mind, Wish, Psychic Thunder, which is a set that has dramatically faded in popularity here. That is not a Pokemon that I was expecting for Zomog. It's going to be a Heracross here. It's going to have lefties, as seen here, because the Earthquake did crit, which made it so the Wish didn't fully restore him. But we would have seen the lefties either way because the Sand would have been negated by it. So Heracross here with lefties is probably either a 4-attack or a Swords Dance set. It could also be Substitute 3 attacks or Substitute Swords Dance 2 attacks, but something along those lines. Salamence by far the best counter that Eden's Embrace is going to have, especially if the last poke is in fact the Magneton that I strongly suspect that it is. So the obvious play here for Eden is to go to Salamence. If Zomog capitalizes on that, I don't know. He could go Rock Slide thinking that the Salamence is going to come in. He could double switch into something that threatens the Salamence. I guess he could go for Substitute. Those are all options for Zomog. It's once again Sunny who's taking the time, and Zomog does go Rock Slide thinking that there would be Ments, but great play again for Sunny, out-predicting his opponent. I have called that out several times throughout this game. He's really in the mind of Zomog and outplaying him there. He stays in. He could have easily died to Megahorn there, but he knew that Zomog was going to go for Rock Slide, and he explodes and kills the Heracross crucially, which is a way favorable trade for Sunny. There's no Spiker, it appears, for Zomog, and even if there is a Spiker, it's going to be Skyrim, and it's probably a Mag in the back. So the Claydol had very little purpose in this matchup, and it made a very favorable trade against a very dangerous Pokemon in Heracross. And that took balls for sure, because if Heracross stays in and Megahorns, it's really bad. If Heracross stays in and substitutes, you explode into that. That's really bad. There's a lot of things that could have made that a really bad play for Sunny. But as it turns out, he made the exactly right read. It was Rock Slide aimed at the Salamence, and he got a really good trade of Claydol for Heracross. Dugtrio, the last poke for Zomog, sneaks it in on a Protect turn. Now, whether or not the Metagross will live, it's hard to say here because it's a bulky Metagross with Protect. It's probably Impish Nature. There is a chance here that, especially if he wins a 50-50 Protect, there is a chance, if it's a Jolly Doug, that he can actually live the Earthquake here and kill it back. Now, most likely the Dugtrio will kill Metagross here, but it is not a guarantee depending on how bulky the Metagross is. Adamant Dugtrio will certainly kill here. Jolly is not a guarantee, but a critical hit is going to make it, so there's no suspense to be had here. Obviously, a critical hit's going to kill him every time, and in fact, that is what happens. So despite Sunny playing really well, I would say, Zomog has the lead here at 5-4. Sunny's made some good reads. I said roll there because somebody in the chat said roll. It distracted me. Good reads. But Zomog's the one with the lead. He's got the 5-4 advantage. There is still the unrevealed poke. If it is, in fact, a Magneton, that actually is pretty crappy in this matchup. Not only is there a Dugtrio for Zomog, but also the Magneton doesn't have anything meaningful to trap, just the Rachi, which it does not beat 1v1. And it's not as offensively threatening as it could be. If there were a Coon or a Starmie or something like that on the other side, at least the Magneton would have some purpose offensively. But it doesn't seem to have that either. So Sunny's actually, despite playing really well, is actually a bit more behind than I had thought that he was previously. Now that the matchup has played out the way that it has, it actually feels like Zomog's in a pretty good position here. Here comes the lead Zapdos coming into a Surf, takes about a third, 32% here, not too bad. We've seen Thunder Wave from it and Baton Pass, obviously going to have Thunderbolt. So it's just a matter of what the last move is. The overwhelmingly likely thing is Hidden Power, but it could theoretically have double status and be last move Toxic. Does go for Thunderbolt here. It's going to connect with Bliss, 19%. Baton Pass out, Blissey stays in. Here's T-Tower, and there is the Seismic Toss. So Sunny, once again, opting to play aggressively with his Blissey, There's the rock slide here. Sonny does not get the right read this time. He stays in, goes aromatherapy. Interesting decision there. That's just to remove the Thunder Wave. And it's last poke Rachi for Sonny, so it's not even the Magneton that I thought that it was all along. He's going to go for Wish. He's going to get nailed by Earthquake, but he looks like he should live another one unless that was a bare minimum roll and it got followed up with a max roll. But he does not stay in to eat his own Wish. Instead, he passes it to Coon, takes only 22% from Earthquake. Obviously a very bulky Coon. In comes Zapdos. That's going to eat a Surf. It does exactly the same amount as last time, 32%. Zapdos would not live another one when combined with the Sand, but Coon obviously worried about Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt connecting with Jirachi there. Interesting that Blissey didn't come in. Sonny going to lose his Jirachi because of that, but I guess he's going to do that to save his Blissey. He views it as a necessary sacrifice. Blissey now is able to get a soft boiled off and does, but Zomog knows that's coming, and he goes to Dugtrio on this turn. Earthquake, heavy damage, but not enough. Ice Beam is enough. Like I said, I suspect that is a modest Blissey, which is why that one-hit KO'd, where a bold Blissey very well may not have. There is Earthquake from Tyranitar on the incoming Coon. 4-3 situation. Zomog still ahead by 1. Rachi comes in to Surf 23%. Will live another one unless that was a bare min roll. We know it's got Thunder. Here comes Blissey. That's dangerous. Thunder 11% and gets the Para. There's definitely the possibility here of a bad full Para to kill the Blissey. Here comes T-Tar. Full Para kicks in at a terrible time. Soft boiled needed to happen there. All of a sudden, Eden's in some trouble. He's going to pull it back to Coon. Rock Slide there, 24%. Can Coon get the rest off to continue on with this game? Here comes the Jirachi. Surf on the way in. He might have to stay in and not get hit by Thunder. He's not going to chance it. Here comes Salamence for Intimidate. It is Thunder. Neutral damage. Finds the Para. 60% of Para happening should Thunder connect because he does have that Serene Grace ability in addition to the base 30%. It's only Blissey and Coon remaining here. Tyranitar comes in. Soft Boiled comes down. 4-2 advantage for Zomog. T-Tar Rock Slide now. Blissey retaliates with Seismic Toss. Eden is going down to last poke Coon, and that seems to be his only way out of this game. There's the Earthquake knockout, and here is the Coon. It's quite low at 30% at the moment, but it's the only hope for Sonny. There's the Focus Punch. That might end it, and it does. Sonny takes a chance on the Combine, hoping that the T-Tower would do something other than Focus Punch, but Focus Punch gets him, brings him down to 2%, and Sand will finish the job. So Sonny, after a really good run, 3 different victories in CALLOUS Fight Night, will finally be dethroned. We will have a new champion in Zomog, and he will have a new challenger next week. We just have to find out who that's going to be. So let's pull this out here. And we will go to our usual random number generator and see what we can find. Going to get a random opponent here out of the pool. Pull it up. See what we have here. Man, these numbers get bigger and bigger every week. What do we got here? 9, 18, 27, 35, 42, 48, 53, 58, 60, and 65. Is that right? Let me try that one more time. Don't want to shaft anybody. 9, 18, 27, 35, 42, 48, 53, 58, 60, 65. All right. So you guys know how to do this. As usual, we're just going to put some random number in, and then we're just going to do 1 through 65, and we're going to draw it one time, and whatever it is, it is. So, one click, number 25, that is, oh, that's going to be a game. It is going to be Asta next week against Zomog. I don't think anyone's disappointed about that one. He has been waiting his turn, and that is a match between 2 ADV heavyweights. Asta Batitos, one of the all-time best and the second-place finisher in the most recent edition of CALLOUS Invitational, against Zomog, who just got second place in the ADV Championship. That is a heavyweight match, and I cannot wait to see it. Rate, comment, subscribe. Look forward to next week.